Hi everyone, welcome to Shelf Control. I'm Norm.
I'm Lisa.
And today we're going to talk about cartographers in front of some empty shelves. So you don't see that on a board game channel. So
No board games in the background.
no board games in the background.
Is that even legal?
We had some windows replaced, and they made quite a dusty mess. I had to move some shelves so they could get to the windows. And so we're in the process of moving everything back. We got a nice little fort made out of stacked board game boxes back there.
We could totally make a fort.
We're going to slowly put them back on this shelf over here. But until then, we got this awesome set with the empty shelves. So
all right, let's talk map writing.
Cartography.
Cartographers. This is the collector's edition is what they call it. They did a Kickstarter where they collected cartographers with all the expansions and stuff all together. And
We've had this a couple years, haven't we?
Yeah, I don't know when the Kickstarter was, but this was a game that I've always been interested in, but just never picked up because it was just a tiny little game, and I was always picking up other stuff. But when they said that they were going to collect everything together in one box, I'm kind of a sucker for that.
Oh, we know.
So we got the
I do
cartographers.
appreciate just the one box opposed to all of the many boxes with expansion. So well done for being patient and showing some shelf control there.
That's the name of the show.
No.
Yeah, but is it really shelf control? Because we really haven't played any of the expansions in this.
We played none of the expansions.
We keep introducing this to new people, so we keep using the base with the maps. But
I'm not opposed to the
I'm
expansions.
eager to try the expansions.
Yeah, we're putting the cart before the horse here.
So yeah,
Let's reel it back in.
let's talk about cartographers. So
Cartographers.
according to the back of the box, it plays in 30 to 45 minutes, ages 10 plus, 1 to 100 players.
And even more. Who's to
So-
say not more?
Yeah, why limit yourself?
So you start off with a blank map. I don't know if y'all can see that.
Let's see if
Y'all-
I can get it a little bit closer.
Can y'all see that?
So yeah, that looks all right. So
So you have 5 mountains. You have some ruin shapes, ruins.
Ruins.
I've heard it both ways.
You're going to draw cards. And as a card is drawn, it tells you what type of terrain you're going to be building, whether it be water, forest, fields, houses,
Oh, that's got all the.
or cities.
Where's
Is that all of them?
Where's the cards at? The cards are on this side, I guess. So you've got the water, the fields, the city, water, field, city,
Forest.
forest.
And
Yep.
that's it.
Yep.
So you're getting cards that tell you what type of terrain you need to graph on your map. And it also tells you what shapes. So I don't know if that will zoom in. But there's all different shapes. Some cards will allow you 2 different shapes. And if you take the smaller one, it gives you a coin reward. Or you take the larger one, which just fills in more space.
The ones that don't give you the choice of 2 shapes will give you the choice of 2 different types of terrain. So in this case, this one's a city or a field. And so it has to be in that little Tetris T shape, but you can make it either a city or a field depending on what you need.
And the game is played over 4 seasons.
Spring, summer, fall, and winter that have a number up in the top corner that dictate when that season is going to be over. Because each of these cards has a number in the top corner. This one happens to be 2, and then this one's 1, and there's some that are 0. But when you hit 8 or more, that's going to be the end of that season. And you have objectives out on the board, A, B, C, and D. And in the spring, you're just going to score A and B. So
So at the start of the game, you know all 4 objectives. So you can kind of play that out through your turns. So you want to keep them all in mind. But in the first season, only A and B will be scored. The second season, B and C will be scored. The third season, C and D. And then the fourth season, D and A. So you'll end up scoring all objectives twice. in the game.
But the timing of when you score them, like you're going to score A super early and super late, and you're not going to score them in the middle of the game. And the 4 goals are based off of the terrain types. So the green generally deals with forests in some way. In this case, this one is you want the mountains on your map to be connected with forests adjacently.
So again, there's 5 mountain spaces on your map. If you happen, side note, if you happen to cover all 4 sides of a mountain, it gives you a coin, so you get to mark it down at the bottom of your map.
Another one is just fields and water. And in this case, you don't want fields and water touching each other, and you don't want them touching the map either. And you get points for
the edge of the map.
Each separate.
They have to touch the map because this is the map.
They don't touch the edge of the map.
Not the edge of the map.
They're being monsters. Then you'll have like some city objective. Like this one is for each cluster of city spaces, 6 or more, you'll get 8 points at the end of the game. And then the 4th one is generally some obscure thing, not dealing with the colors, but like this one is 6 reputation for each complete row or complete column. So you can
6
fill
reputation.
Up rows. Yeah, the reputation is the points.
Oh, we've
And
never called it reputation.
And so you're going to be going through, and in the first season, you're going to be concentrating on the A and B and trying to get as many points as possible for that.
But still keeping in mind C and D, because you're going to be scoring those soon, so you need to make sure you're not focusing on just those 2.
Yeah, because even though you're not going to score for a city, you might get a city card to come up.
You might get a couple of them.
You have to draw some. You have to draw some cities on your map. So you need to look ahead and be like, okay, where can I put this city that will help the city scoring while not blocking me for the other scoring?
And then there's also monsters that are in.
I think they're under here.
I just put it all back together.
Yeah.
Willy nilly. We brought willy nilly into it.
So every season, one of these purple monsters is going to get shuffled in.
And the neat thing about the monsters is when one of them is drawn, you take your map and follow whatever direction it tells you on the monster card. So for this one, it is Kobold Onslaught. Okay. So you're being onslaught by kobolds.
Is that bad?
So we would take it, your map is going to go clockwise. So I would give it to Norm. Norm would in turn give it to the next person. If it's just 2 players, we would just swap. And so you then have to do this shape, and you want to put it in a place that will sabotage your opponent, because you need to make sure for every open space around that shape of the monster is a negative point
at the end of the season.
So you want to make, when you get your map back, you want to try to focus on getting all of those sides covered by some kind of terrain so that you're not getting negative points. So this is just a way to kind of sabotage.
This introduces some player interaction. So you're going to be putting this out in the hopefully the best way to hurt somebody. Like if you have to have mountains connected by forests, maybe you put this in the way so they have to go longer around or something like that.
Just some kind of fun.
So you put this monster down, and then you hand the map back to them so they can yell at you.
And curse you for a while. So if their map is full enough that you cannot make that shape, you would just make 1 square.
You can make 1 square of whatever color you want. If you're doing a monster, it's going to be purple.
Right, you'd still want to make it a monster.
But if it's during your turn, one flips up and you're like, I don't have any room on my board for this shape, you can make a 1x1 block of whatever you want.
Of any terrain, so not necessarily the one that card is telling you to do.
So the monster is shuffled into this deck of cards that you're flipping through until you get the required number, 8 or whatever. So,
and it's the same deck for every season.
So you might not draw this monster. And so that season the monster doesn't come out. Next season you're taking another monster and adding it in, so now there's 2 monsters in the deck. And so next season 2 monsters could come out.
And you may get them back to back, which sucks.
Or they don't show up and the next season 3 are shuffled in, then you're bound to see one.
And it's the same deck again of the terrain.
It's always the same.
So once that season's over, you just take the cards that have been drawn and those that haven't been drawn, shuffle them, add in a new monster, and then you go again.
And we mentioned the spaces on the map that have the ruin symbol. There is a card that's called Outpost Ruins that has the ruin symbol on it. And what that means is when you flip that over, you flip over the next card, and that piece has to be put touching, covering over one of the ruins on your map. And so that hinders. It may not be exactly where you wanted to put it, and you've only got so many ruins on the map. If you can't put this shape on a ruin, you got to do the 1x1 block. Even if you have a wide open spot somewhere else that would fit this shape nicely, if it doesn't go on a ruin, it's a 1x1 block.
And sometimes those 1x1 blocks are helpful, especially at the end of the game when you just need to fill in some spaces. But when you're trying to really focus on these objectives and get some points there, those 1x1s hurt a lot.
At the end of the season, you're going to score in spring A and B, and then you're going to count up how many coins you have. And then you're going to count any open spaces next to any monsters that you have on your map and subtract those. And that's going to be your total for the season. And the good thing with coins is they carry over in the next round. If you got 3 the first season and you get 3 more the second season, when you score coins, you're getting 6. Mm-hmm. And so getting coins early can be really nice because every 1 coin that you get in spring is 4 points. Where in wintertime, a coin is just going to get you 1 point. It may not be as important, but take it if you can use the shape for something. Yep. And that's basically the game. The expansions add maps that have different obstructions on it. Each map is double-sided. The base game has a wide open map with mountains. The other side has some little ravines that you have to draw around. And so each sheet you can get two plays out of them. And
it's fun. This game, every play is unique.
Yeah, you never know how they're going to come out. You never know what your little scoring abilities are going to be, and the expansions just add more to the mix. And
so, how many expansions are in here?
Does this say? Includes Cartographers Heroes, Map Pack 1, Map Pack 2, Map Pack 3, the Skills Mini Expansion, and it comes with 20 colored pencils.
Okay, so the base game and 4 expansions.
So with the colored pencils, you're going to get a nice colored little map that's done. This side has some pen-drawn little art. If you look online, you'll see some really fancy little art pieces that people have done with that. We don't have time for that. Plus, I can't draw a stick man, let alone a house.
We are not artsy people
or a forest.
At all.
As an aside, something that was kind of amusing was Alex Radcliffe did a review of this back when he was doing some videos with Quackalope. And they were talking about Cartographers doing a review of it. And I think it was Alex Radcliffe said that he really liked the game, but it was really hard tracking the symbols on the map because the red city blocks has a picture of a house in there. And so if you just have regular pencils, you're just drawing a little house in there. So you're having to envision what's on the map going just by the symbols. And he said that was really difficult.
It's like a black and white map.
And then Jesse from Quackalope was like, you don't use colored pencils? And it was like, it's like that's genius. But the copy we got came with colored pencils. So
yeah, we didn't know it any differently.
So we didn't have any struggle with the symbols. But that's a funny thing. If you get the base game that doesn't come with any pencils or anything, get yourself some colored pencils because it makes it so much easier to just look at the map and see the colors.
Yep, and you just need blue, yellow, green, red, and then purple.
So what do you think of it?
I hate it.
It's really hard to keep those symbols separate when you're looking at the map without the colors.
No, I enjoy the game. It's something to I don't say this negatively, but to pass the time, it's a light game. When you're making your map, you're your biggest enemy on it. So if you put something in the wrong place, or that's frustrating. But you're pretty much on your own. You're out exploring, making your map, and nobody's map is going to look the same, even though everyone is working with the exact same shapes, colors, things like that. So that's it. It is a it is a fun game.
Yeah, I really like it. And it's got that puzzle of how do I meet these criteria with the cards, the shapes that are coming up. How do I do that? And it has just the right amount of screwage for other people, where it's like once or twice a season you might get somebody else's map and get to draw on it. I like just that little bit in there of screwage.
Of sabotage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real easy to teach. Real easy to play. When you're done, you can just flip your map over to the blank side and reshuffle, get some new objectives, and boom, you're playing again within a minute.
Yep.
And so you can actually get a few games in.
Yeah, super easy to reset. Pull it out, play. Yeah.
Now we haven't tried the expansions yet. There's some expansion that add like heroes that actually will destroy the monster spaces and things like that.
That'd be interesting.
And so
what does it end up on your map looking like? So that we'll have to figure that out.
I'm curious because it's got like a little gray symbol for the hero with the sword, and then it has little boxes that's where they destroy. So I don't know what you do there. You take a black marker and just black out those spaces because they're now just craters in their little moon.
I understood that reference.
The different maps have different layouts. There's one that has like an above ground and an underground. I don't know exactly how that works. There's one that has like an active volcano that it looks like it might spread lava out over your map as you're doing stuff and mess you up. There's all kinds of
we might need more colors,
stuff that we need to try. It's a really good game for introducing people to, and it plays up to 100. So if all of a sudden your game night you have 50 people show up, you just
have your bingo caller announcing it up at the top of the stage, and you're good.
You get those old fashioned overhead. I don't know what they're called, where you have the transparency sheet or whatever, and you just
you just took me back to like elementary school.
Flash that up on the screen so everyone can see it, even the people in the back, and you got 100 people playing. It's such a good game. As a roll and write, this seems to be like the quintessential roll and write.
Yeah, that's true.
Except
you're not rolling anything.
Yeah, you're not flipping right. Verb and write, I think, is what they call them, because they have so many different versions of those. But yeah, this is one. We have other verb and write games that we've played a few times and stuff, so it'll be interesting to see how they compare.
Yeah, we'll have to break those out again
when we get to those. But like this one seems like the flip and write perfected almost.
You haven't given your scores yet, Norm. You're all about putting that cart in front of the horse today.
All right, scores. 0-7 for the gameplay. I'm giving it a 7.
I mean, there's no way to improve it.
How do you make the? Yeah, you can't make this better. There's no roadblocks. There's no humps that are like, oh, this is difficult.
There's no annoyances that we've come across, even tiny tweaks.
Yeah,
no.
This works great. So I'm guessing you're 7 as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no way not to be.
All right, so the 0 to 3 for the wow factor.
Quiet. Here it comes.
Are you giving this a 10?
This feels like a 10 game. I'm
giving it a 9.
I'm actually going to give it a 10.
Are you going to give it a 10?
I'm going to give it a 10. Yeah. For a roll and write, if I'm in the mood to play a roll and write with somebody.
Oh, for sure.
At least at the moment, I'm grabbing this one.
For sure. Yeah, I will agree with that.
Especially if they're new people to gaming. You're just inviting some people over to play games. This is a great one.
Yeah.
For that. And I don't think I'd ever turn it down unless I just was like in a Twilight Imperium mood or something, this isn't going to scratch that itch.
Oh no,
But yeah, yeah, this is a game I'll play anytime.
Yeah, and it's one you can still kind of have fun with your group, still interact, chit chat until you're really focusing on meeting that objective, and then you're screaming at everyone to shut up because you can't concentrate on what you got to do. And no, I'm gonna give it a 2 for that to make it a 9, just because, you know, thinking about, is it one I'm thinking, why aren't we playing right now? No, it's not meeting that. But I agree with Norm. If there's new folks coming in who haven't played games before, absolutely, I would suggest it. It's not super heavy for them, so they'll be able to get their feet wet in the hobby, and then we can start bringing other games in. And it's, you know, a roll and write is, for the most part, pretty simple to teach. And so there's not a whole lot of pieces, where some of the more advanced games just are a bit overwhelming for newbies. So I'll give it a 9, but I agree with you. It feels like it could be a 10.
It's one that when you see it on the shelf, you're like, oh, why didn't I bring that out when we had so-and-so over?
Right.
You know, it's
because we have so many games, we can't possibly process them all at one time.
Yep.
And then him wanting to go on this huge road trip in July just to get, what, between the two of us, $1,600 of credit?
To the used bookstore, so...
Which is where he finds most of his games. We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
So, yeah, it's, you know, if you can't practice shelf control, then you try to practice some wallet control. So, I like
Fair point.
I like to go to the used bookstore to look for the games.
We should take this with us.
Yeah, we're going on vacation. I don't know when you're going to see this, but this is definitely one that you can sit at the small table and play. It doesn't take up a whole lot of room. It takes up as much room as the people sitting there. So
yeah, we're going camping in our little pop-up camper we got, and we'll probably film a few videos while we're there.
So yeah, we can
try some of these expansions. Maybe give you an update on those.
We're keeping it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna keep this game.
I mean, we still have so many maps to use. I mean,
we've played this so many times with just the base map, and we're still. I think it came with 2 things of the base map, and we're not even close to being done with those. And then you have all the expansion maps.
Let me see those maps.
So,
you know, and we'll keep a lot of the completed maps, you know, just so if we're teaching anyone, we can have an example to show them.
It's a really good teaching aid.
Yep.
To keep a couple, and you know, if only one side is filled out and the other side's blank, I keep them in there because we'll just, if we ever do that map, might as well fill in the other side.
Yep. So yeah, we'll keep it. We'll keep it on the shelf. Well, when we get things back on the shelf, we'll put it on the shelf.
Here.
Yeah, there you go. Don't drop it on my head.
There we go.
It'll stay on the shelf.
So, if you like what we're doing and you want to follow along with our evaluating which games are going to keep and which ones are going to stay,
Aren't those the same thing?
and if you're interested in a follow-up for these expansions, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, and this game was one of the random that the AI chose for us to review. So one of the 8.
One of the 8. So
this
this
number...
leaves 3 more.
2 more.
3 more because
Two.
we got to play Thunderstone as well. So looking forward to that.
So excited.
So anyways, that's enough from
rambling.
us.
Yep.
So
like and subscribe. Follow along with what we're doing. And thanks for tagging along with us. We're having fun. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.